Hello and welcome to my shed on this cold Saturday morning. It's actually snowing outside and I wouldn't be surprised if you can see my breath steam a bit. Maybe not. Got a radiator going on in here just to try and get the temperature above freezing. Anyway, a friend of mine recently came over and saw my arcade machine that I built about 3 years ago. You can find a little video about it somewhere here. And he said he wanted one. So I didn't believe him at first, but then he was adamant that he wanted one, and he asked if I could build it for him. So this series of videos is all about me building an arcade machine, taking into account all the lessons that I learned from last time, and so let's get on with it. Right, I've got a piece of MDF here. It's 2 foot by 8 foot, which is what, 607 mil by 2440 mil. It's 18 mil wide. It's a bit too big to have in the shed because it's well, it's too long really. So I'm going to cut this down, mark up the side of the arcade machine, and then cut it down so that it's a bit more manageable. So cue the time lapse. Right, so that's all marked out. You might be able to see it. Not sure what you can see from there. Curve here. This is the control board with the joysticks in here, the marquee, and the screen sits something like that there. So it's laid out flat for you. This is the side part. Each of these corners is going to be radiused. So there's a radius there, but they're internal radiuses, external. With the centre point of the radius is inside the wood, so it's fine. These ones were the problems. If I cut too far, that would be an issue. These ones I can cut square and then sand it back to make it work. So what we've got to do now, cut this bit off, get another piece of wood, and cut the shape out. So we've got 2 pieces of wood here now. They're both 18 mil thick. We've drawn out the pattern on one side. I've temporarily screwed them together here and here. There's about 6 screws in there, and that's just to hold them together so while we cut it out they don't move about and wobble. So then hopefully we get 2 sides exactly the same, and then we can round off the corners, round off, put their specials in, all that sort of thing, and when we separate them we have 2 exact copies for each of the sides. That's the plan. So now I guess I've got to try and cut this out with my dodgy jigsaw. We'll see how that goes. Now we got the tricky bit, the curve. It's bad enough doing it on the straight. The laser doesn't work. It's all over the place. Never mind. We can clean it up with sanding. It's just I didn't really want to do all the sanding. Oh. Well, that's that. You probably can't see from there. I'll show you a close-up in a minute when I'm done, but it's going to need a lot of sanding. So I've cut it out. You can just about see the shape here. I haven't got a lot of room in the shed to get a good shot of it. The jigsaw is okay. Let me just show you some of this stuff. This is cut here. This is quite nice. nice and square, and then you get up to some hideous shape like this, where it's all gone horribly wrong because the blade wobbles and everything goes badly. So that can all be sorted out in the sand, but that's fine. And then slope down here, this sort of area where it wobbles a bit, down here it wobbles, that's fine, we can straighten that out in the sand. Strangely enough, these curves, the curves here, they came out fine. I don't know quite why this one decided to be awkward, but inside curves are horrible anyway. This one, that was nice and square. Touch that up with sandpaper, with the sander, it'll be fine. So that's the next job. Sand this so we've got some square sides, and we've got two matching sides. Right, I'm covered in dust. There's a lot of dust in this place. So anyway, we've sorted out this corner. Now everything's sort of nice and square this way, and the lines are relatively straight and smooth. So I've gone all the way down, all the way through. This is focused or not. So this one looks quite nice there, and then all the way along to the end. So we have a nice straight line there. All the lines that are straight are supposed to be straight, and it's on its side at the moment. Yeah, you can't see that. I need to let this shed air a bit because it's now just completely full of dust. So I've got all the corners that need to be rounded off. You can see nice rounded corners, and nice rounded corners. So there's still two plates here, screwed together, both sides, looking pretty good. Before I go much further, arcade machines have this moulding on the side, on these edges, and it hides a multitude of sins. But in order to get it on, we've got to cut a slot. So in each of these, I've got to cut a slot right down the middle and right down the middle. And to do that slot, we use a slot cutting bit. And this cuts a slot about 2 mil wide, and we can slide the router around and get that slot. So that's what I'm going to do now. We've now got, having routed those slots, we've now got a slot running down the middle of each. There's the centre seam, there's a slot running down the middle of each face, and that runs all the way along the top, and then, oh, that's where I messed up the first time, and then all the way around to the bottom. So that's where the T-moulding goes in, and that all gets glued in place. Right, it's really cold outside, so this is where I'm going to leave it this weekend. We've done the sides, they're just about finished now. Next time we'll be putting in the TV, blocking in some of the sides, and making it actually into a box. So join me next time, and see you then. Thank you for watching.